I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I accept and I receive. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. Angels are watching over me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. All is well, all is well. I am well, healed. All is well, healed. I am well, healed. All is well, healed. I am well, well. All is well, all is well. I am well, well. All is well, all is well. I am well, all is well, all is well. I am well, all is well, all is well. I am well, all is well, I am
There were even times where I felt like I hated my own kid. It's a terrible feeling to have. I wanted to find out what's going on with him and how can I fix it. What can I do? Because I've tried so many things. He was very explosive from a very young age, where there would be nonstop tantrums all day long, and it got to be really exhausting. I've tried everything I can think to try. I've talked to so many different professionals. I don't know what to do at this point. I just haven't found the right piece of the puzzle yet. Neurologic psychologist, occupational therapy, a neurologist, PCIT, acupuncture, herbs, essential oils, energy work. I mean, you name it. I'm probably missing some of the therapies that I've done. I just felt like there's still something up. He doesn't fit into any specific, diagnosis, so he's never been formally diagnosed, but there's something not right. Nothing's helping, nothing's shifting. She told me about, Dr. Aimie has been doing some amazing things with families. I was like, who, what, how do I spell that? Okay, what's the information? Within the first 4 weeks of being on that program, I see a shift, and what's being said makes so much more sense. And I feel like, okay, I'm starting on this path where things are gonna start, the puzzle pieces are gonna start coming together. Surprising and exciting. And, I'm relieved. But just being able to stay calm and not see everyone and everything as a threat where he has to fight or run. And participate with people and enjoy it instead of everything is scary and I need to defend myself. Having a program and having a plan for what to do is really beneficial. Now, I do know how to handle it. I have something to do, and I feel like I speak differently to him. With a program where you actually have set protocols to follow, you will feel yourself be more relaxed and actually stand a little taller. This program will definitely give you the tools you need to be more confident, stronger, recognize within other people when there's something that's not quite right. I feel like this is the missing piece I've been praying for a long time. I really do.
You're seeing how emotions can be a very different thing in your life. Rather than controlling you can actually understand them and shift them to the state where you want them to be.
I wouldn't have known that either, realized that without going through even just 21 days. It's amazing how much difference it makes.
Wow, she understands. She's speaking my language. I have freedom. I'm no longer bound. I'm free.
The power of it is extraordinary. It's given me so much more hope in being able to heal and helping other people know that there's hope and that they can heal too, that we're not inherently made broken, we're inherently made whole. But we just have to start thinking full mind, body, spirit all the time.
This is invaluable, and you have everything forever. The community is amazing. I've really enjoyed that safe group, that safety net, and Dr. Aimie is just wise beyond anything else. And it's just been a wonderful time. And I cannot thank myself enough for doing this for myself and my community and the world beyond that.
And I'm so thankful for that. Thank you, Dr. Aimie.
Since I started the course, I was able to keep my body straight. A change in my posture,
this really deep, heavy, emotional release came out of nowhere. And it went so deep, I felt like I was remembering what it was to be an infant, and so early in my life. And then it was almost like primordial. It was so much deeper than what I wanted to process. And so that was amazing.
I could just feel like a kindness flooding my body. And I realized that I've been sort of going through the exercises with this intellectual thing of, am I doing it properly? Am I getting somewhere?
It all started from feeling safe, that the world is not that dangerous, that I don't have to like keep myself like protecting my heart and my stomach, and I can allow myself to be straight, to walk upright, and actually people notice that, oh, you look different.
It kind of made me realize that it's almost like the practice of self-love.
Does this just feel kinder to my body? It just felt like kind of a real way in somehow to something. Yeah.
This is really cool.
I spent my whole life working so hard on myself and the patterns and all the things that I've chosen to dive into. And, you know, I've never done this piece of the somatic work. And I was like, could it really be possible that I could still have yet a life that I haven't lived yet?
20 years of searching for ways how I could help me spend all the money I had. So a lot of doctors, everybody, anything. It didn't work. Absolutely not. And for the first time, I can experience, sense some changes. The time before, all the months and a few years, I am in a chronic depression. Sometimes it's high, sometimes low, but it is always there. For the first time, I felt what it is to be grounded. And I was so joyful, like a child. And then the womb, it was for me. It was everything. And at once I felt joy. I was so joyful, I couldn't believe it, but I was happy. It was so nice. It was a little vacation, something like that.
So, Aimie, Dr. Aimie, just thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. And to your whole team and everyone who's here and willing to be vulnerable and courageous.
I never get enough of those shares. It's like revisiting the 21-day journey every time I listen to their shares and what they experienced. Good stuff, right? The real stuff. I want to say like the real life stuff. And to see real life changes, my goodness, makes everything worth it. Today is, my goodness, we've got Encore Weekend Summit. Wow. You get all access to all the talks again. I know. Pretty incredible. So I know that you guys are going to be busy today watching more of those talks and those interviews. I look forward to hearing new insights that you guys have today. For our workshop today, this is going to be working with our posture. Why would we want to work with our posture? I think for those who've taken the 21-day journey, you already know. We've never really talked directly about posture, but you can sense and see the difference in your posture as you just pay more attention to your body and you realize, oh, I'm going into that shame posture and let me pull myself back up. Or I notice that I feel differently. I notice that my energy gets drained faster when I'm in certain positions, or we can bring in pillows and bring in a bunch of different what we call props in order to actually make a big difference for our body. So there's so much that our posture affects our nervous system. So much. Our posture affects our nervous system. And when I was going through my lowest time with my own health, chiropractor visits became a regular thing for me. Now, I think that I just got super blessed because I was in Portland, Oregon at the time. And my chiropractor at that time, he started doing these things with my head that I didn't understand what he was doing at the time. And at the time, I honestly didn't have the energy to even ask. And then as I started to feel better and I was like starting to get curious about like, so what is that thing that you do? And he's like, oh, that's muscle testing. I'm like, muscle testing. You have no idea how woo-woo I think that is, right? Like I'm a physician, like I'm trained in conventional medicine. You mean to tell me that you've been doing muscle testing on me this whole time and I didn't even know it, and it's been helping guide you on knowing what to do with my body? All right, you've got my curiosity up now. Let me learn more about this. And so he started to teach me about this whole other stuff that opened me up to what has typically been kind of in that space of chiropractors. So super excited for today's workshop. It's really going to be a 7-day posture reset and working with pain-free posture. I have with us today Dr. Krista Burns, and I'm going to share with you some of her credentials, but I have to tell you guys, you get her out at Park City up on those hills with some inner tubes, and she's like a little kid out there. So yes, she is the founder of the American Posture Institute, is an author, a TEDx speaker, and is one of the leading chiropractor physicians in what she's doing around posture and teaching some of the things that she brings to the International Posture Symposium. So super, super intelligent and super, oh my goodness, like you have so much of my respect, Krista, and it's so nice to have you here. But you get her out on a playground and she is doing things that could lead to bad posture if it went wrong. I'm just saying. Hi, Krista.
Hi, Dr. Aimie. Thank you so much for having me today. And a big shout out to everybody who's joining us on a Saturday, saying yes to themselves by wanting to be healthier, showing up ready to learn more. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for including me in this amazing summit that you put together. And a big shout out to all of our participants. I just want to let you know how much I respect you for being here to learn more about posture today.
This is true. They are out here on a Saturday morning to help themselves. I love it.
Wonderful. Well, should we dive in? Should we talk about posture?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first question I have for everybody today is, what do Tony Robbins, elite athletes, corporate executives, and Harvard University have in common? What they all have in common is they all prioritize posture for improved human performance. Research was performed at Harvard University on power postures. And what they discovered is that by changing your posture, you can change the neuroendocrine impact of the function of your body. What does neuroendocrine mean? It means that the chemicals within your brain are changed based upon your postural position of your body. What they discovered is that holding a power posture for even as little as 2 minutes could make you feel more powerful, more confident, more like a leader, versus when you're slumped forward and closed off and have this slouched posture. This was associated with more cortisol. What is cortisol associated with? More stress, more weight gain, more going into this chronic cycle of feeling like we're in this sympathetic nervous system overdrive. Now, what if by tuning in today, you could find simple solutions that you could change your posture instantly. And when you change your posture instantly, you can change your neurology, you can change the function of your body, and the cool part, you can feel better instantly. So stick with me because we're going to go through a lot today. Now, I want to bring your attention to a really important study that came out. So in addition to the power posture study that was produced at Harvard University, there was a great study that came out of San Francisco State University. And what they discovered is that just by changing your posture, you could change your mood entirely and how we perceive ourselves. Now, I know Dr. Aimie is really an expert when it comes to understanding the biology of trauma. And so when it comes to understanding ourselves, what if we could instantly set ourselves up for success just by how we change our posture? The study from San Francisco State came out, and what they discovered, they compared two groups of people. One group had upright, resilient posture. The other group had slumped forward posture. And the only difference between these two groups of people was their upright posture or slumped forward posture. And then they did something very interesting. They said, okay, we want you to think about memories about yourself. And that was all that they were given as task to do. Something interesting happened. 86% of the group in slumped forward posture had something negative to say about themselves. 86%. They had negative memory recall. And then they looked at the group. They found an interesting correlation there. And they said, well, let's look at the group that has upright posture. And what they discovered is that the group with upright posture, 87% had something positive to say about themselves. They had positive memory recall just by how they positioned their body in space relative to the ever-present force of gravity, changed their entire thought process about how they perceived their own body. And so by changing our posture, we can feel better instantly and we can direct our thoughts from negative to positive. Did you also know that modern research shows that tech neck, what's tech neck posture? In fact, I'd love to see in the chat if you guys know what I'm talking about with this tech neck posture. So tech neck posture, we all have one of these, don't we? Right? And so every time we grab our smartphone and we look down at our phone, and I go forward with my head and I roll my shoulders forward. Have you guys seen tech neck posture? Have you guys seen it before? Or maybe are we kind of guilty of it ourselves? And it's okay to say yes. I promise I'm not going to say you have to throw away your cell phone today. What I'd rather do instead is show you how you can position your body in a healthy way and still use technology. Okay. So it's okay if you've had tech neck posture in the past, but it stops here and today. What the research has shown is that if you have tech neck posture, so tech neck posture is that forward head posture, and how you know you have it is if your ears go forward in relation to your shoulders, that this is associated with decreased blood flow to your brain, resulting in lower levels of cognition and focus. What's cognition? Well, that's just a cool word for your thought processes. Your ability to focus is based upon the blood flow to your brain. And what they have found is that when you go forward in this forward head posture position, you have decreased parameters of the cerebral arteries that are pumping blood flow to the brain. And what this is resulting in is a lower level of cognitive function. So imagine if you're sitting at work, or you want to be present with your family on a weekend, or you're trying to learn something. Maybe if you're taking some courses that interest you, if you're on the 21-day journey with Dr. Aimie. And just by being in the slump forward posture, we tend to have more negative thoughts about ourselves. We tend to have a more negative ability to heal, to perceive that we can heal. And on top of it, we can't focus and pay attention. Did you know that research correlates and shows that as with aging, as people slump forward, that inhibits their cognition? In fact, abnormal posture and gait, which is your posture and motion, is associated with early onset dementia. It's no wonder that it's hard for people to focus when they're seated and they're in slumped posture. Now, tech neck is also associated with things like neck pain, headaches, stiffness in your shoulders, but also depression, anxiety, negative mood affect, and poor mood recovery. Poor posture impacts how you feel, function, and think. All right, so I want you guys to type in the chat and give me a heads up. Let me know if you've ever experienced any of these things. So in the chat, let me know if you've ever experienced anything like headaches or neck pain, or if you feel like at the end of the day, like, it's maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, oh, I can't concentrate. I'm fidgeting to get comfortable. Yeah, if you've had any of these things, all of them mentioned, yes, so Cindy, I know, I totally get you. Yes, Lynette and Luann and David and Ruth, I know, I hear you guys. Dr. Folake Taylor, Betty, scoliosis, somebody said, yeah, I get neck pain, brain fog, and slumped posture. All of these things are correlated. Now, I'm sure what you found from all of the amazing experts that Dr. Aimie has brought to you over the course of this summit is there's a lot of ways that we want to integrate to have better health and wellness. And what we're going to talk about today is specific from a posture perspective. Is there more that we need to do for our mental health? Absolutely. Is there more that we need to do for nourishing our bodies with proper food and nutrition and sleeping well at night? 100%. But likely the one thing that could be missing from your wellness plan is postural correction. Guys, I'm Dr. Krista. I'm the founder of the American Posture Institute. I'm a dual doctorate, TEDx speaker, author of the textbook, The Posture Principles, and the host of the International Posture Symposium. Now, what I want to do today, before I take you into doing some exercises, I want to give you a little brief about my background and what brought me to here today. And Dr. Aimie mentioned, get me up in the mountains, and I'm always down to have a good time. And that really goes back to my story, leading me to why I founded the American Posture Institute. And I want you to know right now that if you've ever experienced chronic pain, I get you, I'm with you, I feel you, and I know exactly what's going through your mind when you're sitting there experiencing chronic pain. You see, when I was 3 years old, I had one dream, and that was to be an Olympic mogul skier. I dedicated my entire life to this single dream. I moved away from my family when I was 14 years old so I could go ski every day in the mountains. I went to New Zealand in my summers, and I'd spend all the summer in New Zealand because it was opposite seasons, skiing and training. My coach was a world champion. I skied with Olympic athletes at training camps, and I was even featured on ESPN, Outdoor Life Network. I was featured in Ski Racing magazine as the next upcoming hopeful athlete, Olympic athlete for the United States of America. And I was living my dream. Everything was happening for me. From the time I was 3 years old up until I was 18, my whole life was dedicated to mogul skiing. And then everything changed in an instant. The morning of U.S. ski team selections in Winter Park, Colorado, I was skiing down for my run. And this is supposed to be the run where you qualify for the U.S. team and World Cup. And this was supposed to, set my career to the next level. And that day, instead of finishing my run, instead of moving forward with my skiing career, I suffered an injurious fall. And as I crashed down, I could feel so much aching in my back. And in fact, they had to come pick me up on the sled. If anybody's a skier, type ski in the comments if you guys are skiers. And maybe you've seen those sleds where they have to come pick you up and they have to bring you down in a sled because you're so hurt you can't get up and you can't ski yourself down. And as I got to the bottom of the hill, I remember looking at my coach. And I was just like, I was devastated. I was in pain, but even more than that, the feeling of losing my dream. And I didn't know what to do. And at the time, I wasn't educated of all the healthcare options out there. And so I trusted my coach's advice. And what he said, Krista, we've got to get you out here skiing again. And he said, the best way of doing this, we want to prevent surgery. So we're not going to take you to surgery, but I want you to get injections in your spine with this doctor that I know. I said, great, let's do it. And so every week, here I am, I'm 18 years old. Every week for 16 weeks, I would fly to a different state and I would get injections in my spine under anesthesia. After the injections, not only could I not ski, I could barely walk. I had visual bruising that lasted on my spine for 2 years post-injections. Every morning when I would wake up and I'd try and put my shoes on, I would screech out in pain because it was so intense. When I would bend forward to try and put my socks on, I would scream. And then I'd have to lay down and I would have to stretch and I could barely make it to school. And here I am, my entire life's goal has just passed me by because of something so common called back pain. At that moment in time, where one door closed, another door opened. And you can imagine now as I enter college, I felt lost. I felt depressed. I didn't know what to do with the rest of my life. And I became obsessed with this thing called back pain because it didn't make sense to me how a young athlete who was about ready to qualify for the Olympics, how could I not overcome back pain? It didn't make sense. And so I dedicated my entire life from that moment forward to solving the back pain solution, to understanding what everybody else was missing. How come these other people couldn't help me? And what I realized after getting a doctorate degree and then my second doctorate degree, I started analyzing patterns and working with patients. And what I realized is that small switches to our posture can change everything. Not only can you look better from better posture, not only can you move better when you have better posture, but you can feel better. And the cool thing is that this is a natural approach that we can all start doing today from the tips that you're going to learn. So I want you to know that if you're experiencing any sort of those pains that you guys all just posted in the comments below, I want you to know that there is hope for you and you can live pain-free too. I was able to overcome 20 years of chronic back pain based upon the exact same things I'm going to teach you today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, to fully understand how posture impacts more than just your alignment and how you look in the mirror or how you look to other people, which is very important, but all because it's our first impression, truly. But in order to feel how posture directly impacts the function of your body, I want you guys to participate in an activity with me. You can stay seated for this one, and then I'm going to have you get up and move around a little bit with me. So for this one, what I want you to do is I want you guys permission to have horrible posture right now, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to slump forward. I want you to sit how you would sit if you were feeling kind of depressed or if you were having a down mood, or maybe, you know, that 4 o'clock time at the end of the day when you're barely staying awake trying to get through your work day. So slump forward. And from this slumped forward posture, what I want you to do is take a full deep breath in. Okay, feel how that feels. Take a full deep breath in and out. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to get comfortable in your body. I want your ears to be aligned over your shoulders. I want you to pull your head back. I want you to open your chest, bring those shoulders back. And from here, I want you to take a full deep breath in and out. Let me know in the chat. Could you feel a difference between before and after? When you had slumped forward posture versus when you had upright posture? Could you feel a difference in your ability to bring in oxygen that flows through your body, supporting every cell and organic function that you have? Oh, definitely, I see, for sure. Huge difference, yes. Okay, now I gave everyone permission to have bad posture for this example because I wanted you to feel it. Now, I want you to imagine if we've been doing this for like 20 years, imagine if you had chronic postural distortion patterns for the last 10 years. I know some of you said, I have technic posture. Every breath that you take is limited and inhibited because of the position of your body. So what's happening? What's happening is that when we bend forward, we're inhibiting our diaphragm. Our diaphragm right here, just under our rib cage, is our primary muscle of respiration. This is what allows us to take full in and out breaths. Now, when I'm slumped forward, I'm inhibiting my diaphragm. So what I end up doing is I end up recruiting all these extra muscles in my chest to take full breaths in. And what happens is I'm using all this extra energy to breathe instead of just breathing naturally. And so from here, when I open up, now I can breathe with my diaphragm. Now, I want you to imagine when you start to feel really stressed out, imagine like those bills are piling up, or you have one of those deadlines at work, or, you know, you have a little bit of anxiety and you're sitting at your desk and you're slumped forward and your posture shows that you're depressed. And you start to have, you know, these feelings of anxiety. And then from here, you start having shallower respirations. This is called hyperventilation. When you're breathing faster to try and bring in more oxygen, this is called hyperventilation. And guess what hyperventilation is associated with? Sympathetic nervous system overdrive. It's associated with staying in that fight or flight stressed out state. So when we go into an upright posture, not only does the research demonstrate time and time again that this helps shifts our mood instantly, helps us focus a little bit better, helps us feel better, but we all just felt how you can function better instantly. Okay, so I want you to remember this. Every time that you grab your smartphone and you go into this posture, you are inhibiting the function of your body. And every time you're sitting at your computer stressed out, if you can stop, upright your posture system. I know everybody talks about stop and take a deep breath, and that's great advice. But what I want you to do first, I want you to be better. I want you to straighten your posture system, and from here, take a deep breath. Because if you're here and you take a deep breath, you're not giving your body the oxygen that it needs, and you'll keep hyperventilating so it won't shift you out of that stressful state. So give me a yes in the comments if you're going to be better than that. Instead of just stopping to take a breath, you're going to upright your posture system and take a breath from here. Say yes in the comments if you are willing to make that one shift in your posture. Awesome. I can see you guys are committed. Dr. Aimie, I love this group. Everyone's here ready to say yes to their health and wellness and longevity and look better, move better, and feel better. All right. So
you should see what they're doing while you're talking. Like they're already correcting their posture.
I love it. Actually, I'm going to put you guys in gallery mode so I can see. Perfect. So now what I want to do, and I have you guys in gallery mode so I can see all of you. And I just want to again acknowledge you guys for participating and for being active. You know, when it comes to being a part of these great summits, you get all this wonderful information, but when you actually put it into play and feel it in your body, it really sticks with you. Okay. So I want you to do these next exercises with us. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do a self posture check. Okay, give me a hand raise and a yes in the comments if you're willing to do a self posture check. Okay, you can do this on yourself and you can do it at home with your family. So you can go check your spouse. You can go, oh, any moms in here and dads? Do we have any parents that are watching in? Awesome. Okay, so parents, oh, we got to take care of ourselves, number one. Also, I want you to check your kids for postural distortion patterns. This just came out in the American Journal of Epidemiology. More than 70% of school-age children right now have forward head posture, moderate to severe. This is frightening. So we want to train ourselves and we want to go and help our kids. So give me a promise that if you have kids at home, you'll also check their posture too. Cool? All right. So how do we perform an at-home posture check? How can we do this together right now? What I want you to do is just shake it out, take a couple steps. Okay. Actually, can I have you guys all stand up for this? I should have prompted you to stand here. Good. I can see you standing up. Awesome. Good, good, good. Okay, perfect. Everyone's standing. What I want you to do is just shake it out, be loose, take a couple steps in place. Now, after taking a couple steps in place, I want you to plant your feet. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in, deep breath out. As you breathe out, relax your shoulders. Okay. Now, as you breathe out and you open your eyes after breathing out, I want you to notice if your body shifted at all. Because when we eliminate the visual field of gaze and we take a breath in and we take a breath out, I want you to notice if your body went forward with gravity. You see, we have this ever-present force of gravity that's constantly compressing our body down and forward. When we breathe out, if we can't resist gravity, we go here. Okay, what we ideally want to get to is when you breathe out, your body stays in an upright position. So again, if you have a postural distortion pattern, as you breathe out, your shoulders probably rounded forward and your head went forward. Now, from that position, I want you to just take notice. If your ear is in front of your shoulder, so if you look at your ears in comparison to your shoulders, they should be in proper alignment. Can you feel that your ears are forward in relation to your shoulders, or are they in alignment? Okay, good. And now what I want you to do is I want you to be aware of your shoulder position. Do they feel like they're aligned? And if you're actually looking in your Zoom camera, you can probably see yourself right now, which is kind of cool. So I want you to see if your shoulders look like they're at the same distance. Okay. And then now I want you to take notice of how you're putting weight on your 2 feet. Do you feel like you've shifted your weight more so to one side of the body than the other? Okay. And if you feel pretty grounded right now, kind of ask yourself, give yourself a check here. Do I tend to kind of stand like this? Do I tend to shift my weight to one side or the other? Okay. And then if you're by a wall, or you can do this later at home, what I want you to do is just try and flatten your spine completely against the wall. And when I say that, I want you to bring the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, your back and your lower back and your hips all flat against the wall with your palms facing forward. And when you do this, I want you to notice if you have a gap between your lower back and the wall, or if you can flatten it easily. I also want you to notice is as you try and flatten, do you have a gap between your shoulders and the wall? Are they rolled forward? And do you have an increased curvature of your lower back where you're feeling like you have that gap between your lower back and the wall? Okay, so just do a self-check. Just check in with yourself, how you're feeling, and if you think that you might have some postural distortion patterns. Some other indications are you feel like you have to fidget a lot at work, you feel like really tight at the end of the day, you wake up and you feel stiff and sore, or you have those things like headaches, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, you feel stiff and sore. These are all indications of postural distortion patterns. So now, as you guys are standing, you've checked in with your bodies. Let's go through together a full mobility of the full body. And then I want to give you 5 tips to take away to instantly change your posture at home. So first, we're going to do a full body mobility. So I want to start down from our feet. So with your feet, I want you to stand, just balance on one leg, make sure that you feel supported, that you're not going to fall over, that you have something to grab onto if you need to. And I want you to do 5 ankle circles with your right ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. We're shifting our balance. Now stand on the right leg and with your left foot. I want you to do 5 ankle circles, get some mobility going in your ankles. Good. I see you guys doing a great job. Great job, Betty and Estella and Rebecca and Daniel and Susan and Sharon and Ruth and Lisa and Anne and Lynette and Lietta and Carolyn and Erica and Ellie and Sherry and Joellen and Kathy. Those are the people I can see on my screen right now. Okay, so after doing our feet, what I want you to do is I want you to stand with your feet together. Okay, feet together, feet together. And from here, I want you to get a little movement in your knees. Okay, just go kind of down and slide to the side. Do 5 of these with your knees. Good. I see Estella doing those really well. Betty's doing a great job. Good. Give me 5 of those. Okay, I just switched my screen. I can see Judy. I can see Mary, Louise, Dr. Flake Taylor, Regina, Atar, Louise, Jacqueline. Really good job, guys. Okay, now that we've done our knees, what I want you to do is put your hands on your hips, nice upright posture. And from here, we're going to do 5 rotations to the right and then 5 rotations to the left. Ooh, that feels good on a Saturday morning. Okay, good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go forward and back. So I want you to imagine that these are my hips right here. I'm going to go forward and then I'm going to go back. So as I go forward, I'm going to arch my spine. And then as I come back, I'm going to flatten. So we'll go forward and back with the help of the pelvis. Forward and back. Notice I'm not moving my shoulders. I'm just moving my hips. Okay, give me 5 of those. Good. All right, now we're going to get our thoracic spine and our chest moving. So what I want you to do from here is you're going to go forward with your chest. Now notice from the side, I'm not bringing my shoulders back. This is not a shoulder movement. My shoulders will stay still, and I'm going to go forward with my chest. Can you guys see that? Let's do 10 of these. A lot of us really need to move this area. So give me 10 thoracic glides. Good. All right. And now a neck stretch to the side. And if you put your hand on top of your head, don't yank. This is just placing your hand on the top of your head for a little bit of extra stretch. Good. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Okay, and to the other side. Good. Okay, now I want you to look as far as you can over one shoulder. And over the other shoulder. Good. Bring your arms out to the side. And from here, we're going to do 5 circles back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Now that you guys have a little flexibility and mobility going on, I want to give you guys 5 tips to take away that you guys can implement into your daily lives. Okay. So I do these every single day. In the morning, I do it pre and post workout because to me, it feels so good. And remember, I mean, I had 20 years of chronic back pain. So I've got to take care of my spine just like all of you guys have to too. Okay. So the first exercise to implement with your day, especially if you notice that you have that forward head posture, that tech neck posture, is called neck retractions. How you perform a neck retraction, you can stand against the wall, flatten your spine, your palms are going to be forward, and you're going to slightly go forward. And you guys can perform this with me right now. So you're going to go slightly forward with your chin, and then you're going to retract back and hold. I want you to hold that for 5 seconds and see how it feels. You can really feel contraction of the muscles that support the cervical spine. Okay, hold. Good. Go forward, back, and one more. Good, and hold. And if you do it against a wall, you can feel the back of your head pressing into the wall as that feedback. Now, kind of a cautionary here, what tends to happen is a lot of people go up and back, up and back. I want you to stay in the same plane where you're keeping your eyes parallel with the horizon and go back and hold. Good, and you can really feel that working your neck muscles. Next is posture. So for neck retractions, do 5 repetitions holding for 10 seconds, 5 reps, 10 seconds, 5 reps, 10 seconds, neck retractions. Number 2 is posture angels. So with the posture angel, what I want you to do is bring your arms up here to about 90 degrees. Good. And if you're against the wall, just flatten your back nice and flat against the wall. And from here, go up Okay, now that our arms are up, we're going to pull them down. As we pull them down to about here, contract the muscles right between your two scapulae. Contract, 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 pull your neck back. Good. Hold, 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 hold. Okay, and up, release. Good. And then pull down and hold. Awesome. Now, I know you guys can't type in the chat because I have you exercising, but give me a smile if you can feel that working your back muscles right there. A big smile means you can feel it. Good. I see a thumbs up from Dr. Aimie. Okay, good. One more. And we're going to do one more right here. Okay, up. Good. Relax and down and hold. Hold, hold, hold. Good. Okay, so same thing with neck retractions. So neck retractions, go back to reverse tech neck posture. Posture angels to reverse slump forward posture. So we're going to do 5 repetitions, holding for 10 seconds for both of those exercises. Then we're going to do what's called a posture break. Now, a posture break, we're going to do for 30 seconds every hour of your workday. Okay, perform this with me while you're standing. So many of us are seated desk workers, right? We spend all day seated in front of those computers like this. So by doing a posture break, we're reversing the press of gravity. So I want you to bring your hands out to the side, press your chest forward, and drop your head back and hold. And just go anti-gravity. And from here, you're going to hold for 30 seconds. And I want you to focus on deep inhalation and exhalations. So you're also giving yourself a parasympathetic break by focusing on your respiration. So hold, go anti-gravity, really good. Good, good, good. Keep holding. Okay, and relax. All right, I need a thumbs up if you feel more stretched out after performing that posture break. So here's what's going to happen. 30 seconds every hour of your workday, you're going to perform a posture break. We all have 4 minutes to spare during an 8-hour workday. Am I right? So you're going to perform this for 30 seconds. And afterwards, you're going to feel more stretched out. These muscles that tend to get so hunched forward are going to be nice and stretched, and you can focus better when you go back to work. All right. Then the last 2 things I want you to do is give it your area a makeover, your work area. So we've got to bring devices up to eye level. Now, you can see right here, I'm moving around. I'm able to look straight forward. That's because my computer screen is on a stand-up desk. So even if you don't have a stand-up desk, which is a great investment for your health, but even if you don't want to buy a stand-up desk, make sure that you can work from a height where you're looking directly at your device. So you can put a box underneath your screen so that you're not constantly looking forward. And what do we do about those smartphones? Now, if I told you that you had to put your arms straight out like this in order to look at your smartphone, you'd be like, yeah, Dr. Krista, that sounds pretty good in theory, but my arms are going to get tired. I can't do it. So here's our solution. I want you to bring your, and if you have your phone, just grab your phone so that you can try it out. I want you to bring your elbows in close to your body like this. Okay, so bring your elbows in close to your body. Now with your smartphone, with your elbows close, I want you to bring your smartphone in front of you. And I want you to see how from here, you can do anything. You can check Instagram, you can check Facebook, you can send a text message. And so instead of going down to my phone or trying to overcompensate by holding my arms out here, I can just support my elbows, bring my device up to eye level, and send a text message from there. Okay. So bring your computer up to eye level and support your arms while bringing your cell phone up to eye level. And then the last tip is to have sit-stand capability in your workspace. Unfortunately, we're a very sedentary society. We don't move enough. And one of the best ways to keep moving is to have a stand-up desk or have sit-stand capability, meaning that you can place your device, you can place your computer screen or your work under a box. Who has an extra Amazon box laying around? I know I have a bunch piled up in my room, right? So we all have one. Grab that Amazon box, put it underneath your computer screen, and start from there. If you have meetings, walk and talk. Find ways where you can stand up more throughout the day. A 3-to-1 ratio is ideal, standing 3-to-1. You don't have to stand all day tomorrow. I promise you, if you tried to stand for 16 hours tomorrow, your back would hurt. But I want you to work up to that gradual ratio of 3-to-1 standing to sitting. When you're seated, think about how you can be more active with your sitting. So sitting on an exercise ball or a posture cushion, those posture discs, So they're little discs that you can place on your chair, and it's movable. So because it's movable, it's an active sitting solution. So naturally, you're moving more throughout the day. You're getting that mobility in your pelvis and your spinal discs, and you're moving. And as you're activating, if you change your verticality in relation to gravity, it triggers your brain to right your posture system. So instead of the alternative, plopping down in an old office chair and sitting there all day and not moving, if we have an active sitting solution, we're active while we're working. Okay. So 5 posture tips: neck retractions. Okay. Retract back and hold. Do 5 repetitions for 10 seconds. Posture angels to reverse slump forward posture. 5 repetitions, hold for 10 seconds. Posture break for 30 seconds every hour of your workday. Bring devices up to eye level, and then have sit-stand capability and active sitting solutions for your workspace. All right. Now, I think we're right to that time to do some Q&A and some answer some questions that you guys may have. So Dr. Aimie, I'm going to throw it back to you. And again, I want you guys to round this out with a round of applause for playing full out. And thank you for being here and learning more about posture today. And thank you for tuning in to Dr. Aimie's work, because when it comes to healing trauma, she is the person to learn from. So, all right, Dr. Aimie, back to you.
Thank you. And we are going to open it up for questions shortly. Dr. Krista, you have a free gift. You have a 7-day posture reset for them that I'm going to drop that link in the chat for them. And do you want to just say a quick word about what that is?
Absolutely. So what we've talked about today, I want you guys to implement and make it part of your daily habits. Now, in addition to that, I have a free gift for you, which is a guide of some of the things that we talked about today, plus more. Things like proper sleeping posture, proper shoe support, how to sit and stand properly. So I want you to grab that free guide, and it's a 7-day posture reset. If you implemented these tips within 1 week from now, next Saturday, you could be feeling better already. And so to make simple shifts in your posture and to start ingraining those new posture habits, grab the posture reset guide. It's 7 days to better posture.
Thank you. So Dr. Krista, I'll start off with a question for myself, and then we can take some questions from other people. So I noticed after having chronic back pain myself, that how I sleep made the biggest difference for my back. And I would wake up just with my back stiff, and it would take a while to even feel that it was warming up and getting mobile. So what I started to do, and I want to make sure that this is okay, I started putting pillows underneath my knees. And then I noticed that, and I've got to put 2 pillows. So it's not just one pillow. Like I've got my knees up pretty high. But when I do that, I notice that like my back wakes up really soft and flexible and mobile, and it doesn't have any of that like muscles tense and contracted like before. Am I doing okay with that?
Yeah, I love the idea of using a pillow. My best recommendations when it comes to sleep posture are one of 2 postures. Well, first of all, okay, let me see who's a stomach sleeper. Raise your hand. Does anybody sleep on their stomach? Okay, I see Sherry. She's like, nope, not me. I slept on my stomach for 25 years, and that was my most comfortable position. And then come to find out that stomach sleeping is the worst for back pain. So I had to change it. And it's not easy to change your sleep posture, but I promise you can do it, and I promise it's worth it. So if you're a stomach sleeper, I feel ya. I liked doing it too, but I had to make a shift. So with that being said, when it comes to sleep posture, to Dr. Aimie's question, is there's 2 best ways to sleep. Number 1 is lying on your side. Now, as you lie on your side, I want you to be very consciously aware of your pillow, how fluffy it is or flat it is. And I want you to check the position of your knees. If your knees are folding over one another, or if they're rounding out, then you're creating an extra spinal curvature. And if your knees are coming together and it feels uncomfortable, then your hips are out of alignment. So what we want to do is grab a small pillow, like Dr. Aimie was just talking about, a small thin pillow, put that right in between your knees as you're lying on your side. As you're lying on your side, that will keep your hips in proper alignment while you're sleeping. And I want you to check how large your pillow is, because if it's over fluffy, then we're sleeping like this all night. But if it's too flat, we're sleeping like this all night. So what we want to do is find that Goldilocks pillow, perfect for you, that perfectly supports your neck so that you're not going into flexion or flexion either way all night long. So you want to find a pillow that supports what's called a neutral spinal position so that you're not flexed in one direction or the other. Okay. Oh, and then the other one is sleeping on your back. So So sleep on your side, put a little pillow in between your knees. Make sure that you don't have too fluffy of a pillow. If you want to sleep on your back, this is also fantastic. Sleeping on your back, put a small pillow underneath your knees so there's a little bend in your knees. As you do this, you're offloading the amount of pressure on your spinal discs that support your lumbar spine. So put that lying on your back, okay, not too fluffy of a pillow, but not too flat. And then as you're lying on your back, have a slight bend in your knees. Don't keep your legs straight. If you keep your legs straight, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a curvature of your lower back against the bed. You want your back flat against the bed. And so by bending your knees slightly and putting that pillow underneath your knees, that's going to relieve that extra stress and tension. Great question, Dr. Aimie.
Yeah, that's what I really noticed, is that needing to have my back flat was pretty essential. Dr. Krista, does it seem to matter whether mattresses are softer or firm for chronic back pain?
That's a great question. And I know that you guys have probably heard before that you have to have a firm mattress to prevent back pain. And I am an advocate of a more firm mattress. Now, with that being said, it's kind of an old school recommendation that you just have to have a firm mattress. There are so many great options out there now that are more Tempur-Pedic, where you can, again, find that Goldilocks, where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just perfect. So I err on the caution of having a harder mattress always. That's my personal recommendation to everybody. And also, from my own back pain and after helping thousands of patients, I know that a firmer mattress is going to help out. However, I don't want you to feel intimidated by that or like, gosh, now I have to change my sleeping position and my whole mattress. There's really good Tempur-Pedic mattresses out there that tend to be firmer, but still have that good memory foam that feel really comfortable.
Awesome. So if any of you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. And Carla has just dropped in the link into the chat. And this is the link that we talked about it yesterday. So if you were here yesterday, you heard it as well, where we will be sending you an email with all of the free gifts from all of the experiential workshops that we've held. Whether you attended them live or not, we want to send you an email making sure that you have all of the free gifts. And so make sure that you have clicked on that link that Carla has in the chat for downloading. It's going to be the experiential workshop calendar or schedule, and that will make sure that you get that email that we will be sending out today. We will be sending that email out today, and I'm going to ask a big favor, and just when you get that email, reply. You can just say, got it. I got it. And that's all I need to know, that you did get all of the free gifts, so that I know that you are well taken care of and have everything you need.
Oh, Dr. Amy's the best. She wants you guys to be taken care of and have that wealth of knowledge. So be sure to follow through and grab those free gifts. That's awesome. All right. Did Betty have a question?
All right. Yeah, Betty's got a question. Hi, Betty.
What else is new? I have a question to clarify, Krista. When I was standing against the back, am I supposed to have that curve at the lumbar area or not? When my head and my shoulders and my hips are touching, but that part of my back is not.
Okay, that's a great question. So if you're standing against the wall, Betty, I want there to be enough of a space that you can place your flat hand between your back and the wall. What I don't want though, Betty, is that you could place a fist behind your back in the wall. Okay, so we want it pretty flat. Just a hand. That's how much we can put in there. So you can have a little space, but not more than this. Okay. If you're able to put a fist back there, that's going to be too much. And we want to make sure that your hips are in proper alignment. Okay. Great question. Yes, you're welcome.
All right. I'm going to take Helen next, so that you guys know, I do tend to pick those who have their camera on. Hi, Helen.
Hi. Thank you. That was great. So I have a question about when I wake up in the morning, my legs are often numb and crampy, and it can be really painful. I get cramps in my feet, cramps in my calves, and I often get and on milder days, I just get a tingling in my feet. I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
Helen, that's a great question. I know how that feels. Have you ever had that feeling where your calf starts getting so tight in the middle of the night, it just makes you want to scream?
Oh, it wakes me up. Yeah. And it's so painful. And the tops of my feet do this. And I have to physically move. I can't will it with my brain. I have to physically reach down and stretch everything out. It's awful.
Yes. Oh, I hear you. I've been there. So, Helen, with that question, there's definitely some nutrition recommendations that I would have a nutrition expert give to you. One of the things that I've done personally is magnesium. So definitely looking at diet, that's going to have a huge impact on muscle spasms. Something I want to say from a postural perspective, though, is that during the day, especially if this is happening frequently, when this happens to me, I make dietary changes, but also during the day before going to bed, I'm really aware about how much I'm moving my feet. So, you know how we started by doing ankle circles, doing 5 ankle circles to the right, 5 ankle circles to the left. What I want you to do is do ankle circles during the day while you're working. So you're getting that blood flow to your feet. Also do figure 8 pattern. Okay. So with your foot, imagine this is my ankle. I want you to do figure 8 patterns with both of your feet throughout your workday. I don't know, Helen, if you're seated during the day or if you tend to be on your feet, but especially people who are seated, both. Okay, combination. That's good. So we're up around a little bit. People who are seated all day, and anybody, if you're listening and you've had this experience and you spend a lot of time sitting, then unfortunately this can lead to things like neuropathy or abnormal pains and feelings in your feet. So you've got to keep moving your feet throughout the day. Okay. So Helen, definitely check in with some nutrition recommendations. Magnesium has helped me in the past. Throughout the day, make sure that you're doing the ankle circles and doing those figure 8s. Okay. That'll help you.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Helen, if you hang around us much longer here in Trauma Healing Accelerated, you will know that we talk a lot about magnesium. And also for some of those, for some of the, just kind of like the stress and wear and tear on the body, sometimes even just bringing in potassium and calcium at night. So I'm taking those at night, and that has really helped decrease kind of like the muscle cramps and that tension that I can get. So anytime we're talking about stress and certainly about trauma, magnesium is going to be one of your top go-to supplements that you for sure want to be on. So, and I will be sharing a lot more on that later. Lisa, look who turned her camera on.
Hi, Lisa.
Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Burns. You're awesome. This is a weird question, but I have to ask it. I slept in a zero gravity chair for a couple of years because I had such bad back pains, and it helped a lot, but I sensed that it was cutting off some lymph flow because the inguinal area has to be compressed to be in that position. But it was amazing. What do you think about that? Any thoughts?
You know, honestly, I love zero gravity. I don't love it every night for a prolonged period of time, just to be clear. But I do love zero gravity because we're going anti-gravity. So we have to remember that gravity is an ever-present force. It is constantly pressing us down. I mean, the fact as human beings that we can stand upright and balance our body upright is phenomenal. It's an amazing characteristic that we have. We're always working against gravity, and we'll never be able to outdo gravity. We'll never be able to get rid of gravity. And honestly, this is the hidden stressor within our environment that constantly brings us down and forward. And anytime we go down and forward, that's a more compromised position of our spine from a biomechanical perspective, leading to things like back pain and neck pain, but also it can help us, feel kind of icky too. So I love zero gravity. I don't love doing it for a prolonged period of time. I'm not sure how long you had said you had done it for. That could impact lymph. I would think I think you said a couple of years. Lisa, how long were you doing it for? A couple of years. Yeah. So
I had a lower disc.
So
I was doing it for back.
Yeah. So if you're having an acute exacerbation, so like, for example, if you start to really you feel like you're inflamed or you feel like you're having a hot low back and it's starting to come back, I really like the use of it because it will help alleviate. I just don't want you to get too reliant on it because I don't want you to be doing it for prolonged periods of time. Keep it around, right? So that you can use it when you need it. But I don't like seeing it every night over the course of 2 years or something. Yeah. Because that can impact your flow.
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't a leather one. It was a lawn chair, which isn't the best, but I kept replacing them because it really, really helped. It's a great beauty treatment too, but
yeah. No, because honestly, we forget the gravity, the impact of gravity, because it's just part of our world. But honestly, if we think about how intense gravity is for us, and if we're not actively resisting against it, that's why we're doing those posture breaks, Lisa. Make sure you do those posture breaks. That's a way of going anti-gravity without having to be in a zero gravity position. So just by going anti-gravity for 30 seconds every hour of your workday, you're reversing the press of gravity. And if you think about these words too, Lisa, from a mood perspective, if you think about the word depressed, we're literally pressed down with gravity and we go down and forward. And if you think of the word uplifted, we're upright. So I want to keep you in a nice upright posture and position. I'm definitely a fan of going zero gravity, but just not for that prolonged period of time. So keep it around. If you're having that acute exacerbation, you can use it, but try not to be reliant on it.
My background is in body psychology. Everything you're saying makes sense to me. We study posture and psychology. So yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lisa.
Evelyn, we're going to have you be able to share your question. Going to try to get through all the questions today. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi there. My question was similar. I've been sleeping on a mattress that started giving me, numb fingers when I woke up, and neck pain and back pain, a flat mattress. And then I had to sleep on the sofa when I ordered a new fancy schmancy $5,000, organic latex mattress. On the sofa, I was like absolutely fantastic, no pain, nothing. And then I started back on this new mattress, flat mattress, and I've got the numbness again, the pain in my neck, the lower back pain. So similarly, I'm thinking of getting one of those adjustable beds, and I guess I just want to know your thoughts. So I guess I shouldn't do it for too long. I can go back down, but
yeah.
And also with the remote control, I'm just not sure about like EMF and I don't know, that kind of thing with those beds.
Yeah, great question. Evelyn, let me ask a qualifying question here because I really want to understand exactly your position so I can give a better recommendation. When you went from the bed to the couch, did you bring the same pillow that you were sleeping with, or did you use a couch pillow? And how were you laying in bed? What position? And then how were you laying on the couch? Let me understand that first.
Sure. I've tried every pillow under the sun, basically. And when I went to the sofa, it was just like the sofa pillow, but I was propped up quite a bit. Now with the new mattress, which I'm supposed to work in for like 6 weeks, but I haven't been sleeping at all on it very well. I'm just using like the pillow that came with it, which is, I guess, organic, something, I don't know, cotton inside. But with the new bed, I find my head is down at where the feet are, and my feet are up at the pillow, pillows everywhere. So I'm just tossing and turning all the time. It's a king size space.
Okay, Evelyn, the reason I asked that question is because what you're explaining about having that pain and tingling down your arm, that tends to be more cervical spine. And when I think about cervical spine, it's usually the pillow versus the mattress. When I think of low back pain or mid back pain, that tends to be more mattress related. But when I think about if you're having neck pain, and especially if you're having that tingling down the arms, that tends to be more pillow related. So if you're telling me that you've tried every pillow under the sun, I wouldn't give up on your mattress quite yet. I think the culprit might be the pillow. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that you're in a neutral position with your neck. So you're not tilted this way with a big fluffy one, and you're not tilted this way because it's too flat. And there's some great ergonomic pillows. I don't know if you've had a chance to try ergonomic pillows, but they'll actually have like a position where there's kind of a hole for your neck so that it's keeping your neck in a nice neutral position. I want you to try that before you give up on your mattress. I think that could be the ticket for you, because anytime we're talking about neck or pain down the arms, that usually is more of a pillow issue with how you're sleeping with the position of your neck at night. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm so sorry, Evelyn, we're going to need to move to the next question. We've got a lot of people in line. And with that, Dr. Flake Taylor, I have no idea if I'm saying your name the right way. So if I'm not, please correct me.
Hi, Dr. Aimie.
Hi.
And Dr. Krista. Yeah, it's Flake Taylor.
Flake, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Now, my original question was about the zero gravity chair as well. I live with primary progressive multiple sclerosis and lumbar disc issues, and I have slept in a zero gravity chair for 6 years. But I'm realizing now that I am waking up in sympathetic overdrive, and I think it's contributing to that. So I've been kind of decreasing the angle of it and all that. So, but from what Dr. Krista said, I think I just need to transition away from that. Now, my other question is this machines that turn you upside down, like to decompress you, I forget what they're called. What's your take on that?
Yep. So first of all, I want to acknowledge what you just said. That's if you feel like you're waking up stressed out, there could be a lot of things going on, which I know Dr. Aimie will address from multiple different perspectives. In addition to that, start reducing the angle, and you don't have to, go away from going zero gravity, but just make sure that we're keeping it under control. We're not doing it for a prolonged period of time. And in terms of the devices that hold you upside down, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have one yet.
You don't have one yet? Yeah, I'm
No.
a proponent of that as well. Anything that goes anti-gravity will eliminate in the moment, not long term, but in the moment. The reason it feels so good is because when you're in an anti-gravity position, you are releasing the amount of tension that's compressing down on your discs. So in between your vertebrae, right here, you have a disc that supports it. When we have a bunch of degeneration, that disc thins and then it's bone on bone. Now, when we have when we open up the joint spaces, that allows good nutrition to come into the joint, or to come into the discs, and it allows you to feel good. When we have that constant compression with gravity, that's where we start to have those herniated discs and more disc pain. So by hanging upside down and having those supported machines, so that of course you don't injure yourself, number one, that's very important. That will help just open your joint spaces so that you have good hydration coming into the discs, and so you have less tension and pressure on your back. So yeah, I'm an advocate of it, definitely. Great question,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Taylor. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. And given the time, we will need to wrap up for today. Dr. Krista, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As always, we are going to end with a song. I have chosen a special song for today that's one of my favorites, and I felt went really well with our talk today. And while we're playing the song, if you could please just drop in your gratitude and appreciation for Dr. Krista, her coming to spend time with us today, sharing all of this amazing, important stuff around posture, because it so much affects our mood, our mental health, our ability to heal from trauma. And so thank you, Dr. Krista. Thank you. Thank you.
A big thank you to you, Dr. Aimie. Thank you for putting together this beautiful summit. And thank you to all the participants for taking that proactive step to have better posture, better health, and to overcome pain associated with trauma. Thanks again, Aimie. Appreciate you having me on.
I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I accept and I receive. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. Angels are watching over me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well, I am well. Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well.
There we go. Always working towards that healed, whole, and healthy place. So have a very wonderful rest of your day. Make sure that you have downloaded the calendar to make sure you get all of the gifts from all the experiential workshops. Dr. Krista, big hug. Big hug.
Thank you to all of you.
And thank you to each of you. We will see you tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific.